All right, guys, welcome. Thank you for joining the call. I think everybody should be muted when they jump on, but Stephanie, I see that you're unmuted. It looks like Elizabeth is unmuted. So if you jump on and you're unmuted, if you don't mind muting yourself. Let's see. Hey, come in. Oh, give it. Stay out. All right, so welcome to the call. Thank you so much for joining us. If you guys don't know who I am real quick, I'm Rebekah Bain. I'm the founder of The Rock. I've been a coach for almost 4.5 years now. So kind of getting the hang of it, but I still have my struggles, and that's kind of really what I want to talk to you guys about. If you've been on my calls before, sometimes when I'm planning these calls and talking about them, I've really been inspired by a few things that have happened over the past couple of weeks. This really tends to be a topic that keeps coming up. I sometimes will go off of feedback from what I'm getting from my team and what I'm hearing from you guys. And so a lot of times when I'm planning, I feel like, man, this is so repetitive. You know, I feel like I don't have anything new to tell you, but really, and this was confirmed for me today with some personal development I was listening to, it really does take repetition and hearing this stuff over and over again for it really to become solidified in what you're doing in your business. And so some of this, you know, you'll hear us talk about the three vital behaviors and personal development, and you're like, all right, I get it, but are you doing it? And so, you know, just based on some of the messages I've been getting and the feedback in the group and just things that I've been taking in my own personal development, I really wanted to share this message with you guys tonight. So I know a lot of you were on the call with Amy Kynard last night. Thank you for offering that to The Rock and letting us join in on that. I wasn't able to make it, but I heard that it was excellent, and Amy just really broke down for us how, you know, just like we have a 3-day refresh you know, for our bodies, having a 3-day refresh where you kind of take a moment and take in this business is kind of important too. So Amy's going to share the recording for that, I'm sure. And if you weren't on the call like I was, then you'll have that as an opportunity. No, please understand that when these calls are posted in The Rock, you don't have to make all of them. We as leaders want to be here for you and open ourselves to provide content with you and share with you and communicate with you, but we by no means expect you to do it all. We know the National Wake Up Call is there. Your coach may offer team calls. There's just so much information and training, and so, you know, we don't expect you to be at everything, and my feelings aren't hurt if you don't make these, but I certainly appreciate having you guys here. So tonight I want to share with you guys some of my personal struggles in the business and how I handle them, how I've learned to handle them. I'm kind of watching my team hit hard spots, and you know, they have specific goals, and I get messages every day from coaches who, I mean, want to throw in the towel. Maybe every day is an exaggeration, but quite frequently I get very frustrated messages from people on the team who are just, you know, kind of hitting a wall. And you know, Amy and I will laugh about this because we experience it every day ourselves, and it's really scary for me in a way to even admit that to you guys, because I don't want you. Some of you are brand new coaches, and I know that you hear that and you kind of freak out because you're like, man, if Rebekah is struggling and, you know, some of her best coaches are struggling, then how in the world am I going to make it? But I want you to jot down this book. When I was, it's called The Entrepreneurial Roller Coaster, and it's by Darren Hardy, and it was recommended this past weekend. I was on a a 3-hour training webinar with Jimmy Hayes Nelson. Some of you know him as Coach Jimmy. He's been a coach for, gosh, probably 7 years now, 7, 8 years now. He was almost one of the first coaches to start. And so he has certainly seen the ups and downs of this business. I downloaded this book, again, The Entrepreneurial Roller Coaster by Darren Hardy. So I got on Audible, and I've been listening to it pretty much every chance I get. Before I got on the call, I was listening to some of it. Driving around while I'm cooking dinner or whatever. I always have it on while I'm putting my makeup on in the morning. So really what this book is all about, it pretty much tells you everything that sucks about being an entrepreneur, everything that sucks about being a leader, and owning your own business. It really just, as I'm listening to it, and I think as some of you listen to it, especially if you've been doing a business or even if you own another business of your own, you'll really start to relate to some of the stories, and it'll make you feel better about where you are in your business and how things go on a daily basis. Owning your business and being in control of your life can be daunting at times. It's not easy. In fact, it's pretty much never easy. And you'll often find yourself doing things that you don't want to do. It's just part of life. Owning a business is great, and it feels good to be in control of things, but it's not always pretty. Most of the time, it's not pretty. You think about the things that you have to do to keep this is your business. Like, for example, most people who have just a 9-to-5 job can take maternity leave. In 6 weeks, they can go away from their job and, not think about it. Well, technically, because this is my business, I should be able to take 6 weeks away and just kind of not think about my business. But no, this is my business. I'm fully invested in it, and I care about my team, and I care about my customers, and I need to make sure they're taken care of. And so you kind of feel this tug to stay involved in your business. It's just part of being a business owner. So why in the world are you doing this? Why am I doing this if it's so hard? As a leader, I get messages from some of the most amazing people I know. They're full of heart and passion for their business. They've been in the trenches over and over again with their coaches, facing failure after failure, followed by some successes. In fact, more than likely, if you've been a coach for any amount of time at all, you'll find that you've probably had more failures than successes. But the thing is, with each of those failures, and you achieve something really great, when you have the really good days, they're really good days. It feels good to see a coach hit their goal, or to watch one of your challengers get through an entire program. And we know we run these challenge groups, and not everybody's posting, not everybody's, you put 20 people in a group, you might have, 2, 3 people that post pictures at the end of the challenge group. It's normal. It's not you. I always tell my team, if you get to the end of a challenge group and you can look at what you've offered in that group, you've showed up every day, you've been drinking your Shakeology, you've been doing your workout, you've been posting, you're messaging people who aren't in there participating. All you have to do is know that you've given your best. You can only control you and what you do. So don't stress out when your team or when your challengers aren't producing. I know it's frustrating. It's something I've had to get over. But yes, I get these messages, and it's really hard for me as a leader to see them struggle when I know how hard they fight. But in my eyes, the fact that I get a message from them says a lot about them and their commitment to the business. So I take that really as a positive and not a loss. You see, there really is no easy path to greatness in life. Nothing worth fighting for is ever going to be easy. And for me, this business is truly worth fighting for. I find a sense of achievement and accomplishment. I do. It doesn't mean everybody is. And that's why the strong remain standing and the rest will fall away. My struggles truly are no different than yours. I have several coaches on my team who have, and several, yes, literally like not just one or two, but I've had a few on my team who have achieved the rank of diamond and have built a team, only to, something happens in life and they lose their fire and they lose their passion, and then they fall away. And often that means they take their team with them. And sometimes there's legitimate reasons. It's okay. I don't hate you if you're one of the people on the call. It's life. And, everybody handles things differently. We move, we have babies, we, lose family members, we become sick. There's so many things that can impact your business. And, really it's your business, and that's okay if things kind of set you off track. Many of those coaches who have kind of lost their way in the business have had the opportunity and have taken the opportunity to go ahead and get things rolling again. So in my eyes, it's not a loss. It's just, I feel like if you ever fall off, the mere fact that you're making the decision to even try to come back in says a lot. And it always impresses me. So thank you. I do get discouraged. I stomp my feet. I say, what the heck is wrong with me as a leader? What am I doing that I'm not encouraging these coaches that they don't want? Why can't they latch on to the same vision? What am I not doing right to make them connect? And the truth is, that's not always the case. So I spoke on our last call about how we're all leaders in some fashion. Even the coaches who have, maybe you just signed up last week, you have to lead by example. You do the workouts, you drink the Shakeology, because that's what you want your future coaches and your customers to do. You do your personal development, because that's what's going to help you improve yourself. And that's what you want your team doing. Every time I feel myself slipping or losing my fire in this business, and it happens all the time, it's usually, almost always, probably 99.9% of the time, due to lack of personal development. Something clicked in me just a couple of weeks ago, because I would say, I'm like anybody else on this call. The last quarter of the year can be a downer sometimes regarding the business, but I could feel myself slipping and losing the fire. And so, I kind of had this moment a couple of weeks ago where, something kind of stirred up inside of me, and I knew that I had to spend more time in personal development. So I stopped listening to Dave Ramsey. If you don't know him, he's a financial guy, and I'm kind of obsessed with him. But he has a talk show, and I listen to the podcast all the time. So I was listening to a couple of hours a day between, just listening to it, carrying it around with me and listening to it. But he's not exactly personal development. It's entertainment for me. It's not personal development. He helps people get out of debt. But really, most of the people who call on his show are a complete mess. And, this is how I was spending my time. And so though I have, I had some books that I kind of had open, and every now and then I'd kind of open it up and read a little bit and just be completely distracted. And I wasn't reading anywhere near the amount I needed to, but I recommend, which 10 pages a day is what we recommend. So, or audio while you're driving. That's something big, especially if you're on the road a lot or commuting. That's when you want to get your personal development in. So I changed all that. I said, okay, it's time to move on. I've got to get more into my personal development if I want to see some changes in my business and myself, if I really wanted to have an influence on my coaches. So I started opening my book called You Will Be Satisfied. That's one I've probably been reading way too long. Can I get through it? I got on Coach Jimmy, the training call this past weekend. And really the whole purpose of that was so that I could get some ideas on what I could bring to my team and help them to grow their business. I started replaying the National Wake Up Call and getting ideas on, there's not a call, there's very few calls that I listen to that don't inspire me some way from the National Wake Up Call. And this one from a few weeks ago was from Becky Brosette, where she said something about starting a motivational video every morning first thing through YouTube. and she'd share something like that with her team, which you may have noticed in The Rock. I've started posting a couple in there, and she would share little snippets on social media with her followers. And so that's why I started plugging into Les Brown on YouTube. Les is his first name, and his last name is Brown. And there is a ton of videos on there from him. And just about every time I hear him, I honestly get a little bit emotional and filled with kind of a passion and a vision. There's just something, he's like a fiery preacher. I don't know, but he is just, he's a happy guy, and he has a great message, and it's more than just a feel good, but it's a lot of feel good. But don't judge that if you're like all weird about personal development. You gotta go listen to him. But you plant that stuff in your mind first thing in the morning, it does something for you. Trust me, what you put in is what you're gonna put out. So if you're surrounded by the news, it drives me crazy, because when I wake up in the morning, Matt turns on the news, and he does it mostly for work, for his job. He's got to know the world events and what's going on, but it does something to me, and I can't stand it. So I have to go somewhere else, and I plug into my personal development, and I'll do my devotionals and make sure that I'm filling my mind with good things that are going to help me throughout my day. Because what's going to happen if you're surrounding yourself by the news and negative people, it's going to impact your kind of perspective of the world. And I think most of us really want to have a positive impact on the world. Most of us want to have an influence on somebody, maybe not even the world, maybe just your close niche of people, but we want to have that positive impact and influence. And personal development is a first step in making that happen. Last year, I had an amazing opportunity to spend some time with John C. Maxwell. He is one of the world's leading speaker on and teacher on leadership. But we all kind of laughed when he said that leadership sucks, and when he dies, he's going to have a final book published called Leadership Sucks. And it's kind of funny, because you hear this, I didn't expect it, because he's the authority on leadership. He knows all about leadership, and but he's been through it all, and he's had a lot of failures. So you see, you're not alone in this. When you listen to the National Wake Up Calls and you hear these top coaches, you see that you're not alone in your struggles. Sometimes it feels that way, because as someone who seeks greatness, you really are a small percentage of the universe. Most people back out at the first sign of pain or struggle, and you may think that you weren't cut out because someone told you, no, I don't want to challenge back. No, I don't want to join your team. Or maybe a customer had a bad experience with customer service, so you can't trust Beachbody, or you had a coach quit on you. Or maybe you think you're too old, so you don't have the right crowd, you can't attract the right crowd. Or maybe you think you're too young, so all of your friends are broke. I hear all of these all the time. And sometimes it's true. I mean, you're going to have things that kind of set you back. If you're just coming out of college, a lot of your friends are going to be broke. So what? You find ways around it. You use them to get to their parents. I mean, truly, I don't mean use them, but truly, most of the people in your circle aren't going to be your customers or have any kind of interaction with Beachbody at all. But they're a connection to someone else, because though I've had people who have never worked with me before, but they've referred people to me because they know me and they like me and they know what I do. They're not interested, but they know someone who is. So, you can't look at your circle and your current circumstances and use that as your excuse. They're all excuses that I've had, not all of them, but I've had a lot of them. And you have to break out of that mindset. And so I'm going to give you a few tips on how you can do that. Number one is I really challenge you to wake up every morning. Do it through the month of December. And then if it's silly, then don't do it anymore. But seriously, log into YouTube. Let that be the first thing you do in the morning. Maybe have your phone and headphones or laptop sitting beside your bed, and you have one picked out and ready to go, and you click the link before you even get out of bed. There's like 5-minute clips that are really short and you can get through fast. I'm obsessed with Les Brown recently. Again, you know, you gotta listen to him. He's gonna get you. You'll get out of bed doing jumping jacks if you listen to him first thing in the morning. Let's see. Zig Ziglar is a great one. Really sweet country. I think he's from Alabama or Tennessee or something like that. So he has a real sweet, like, Southern accent. TED Talks are great to listen to. TED Talks usually have some really great talks. They're not quite as motivational, but some of them are. Darren Hardy, I know, has some YouTube stuff, so go check those out. First thing in the morning, listen to something that's going to change you and challenge you. I dare you. Do it every day starting tomorrow morning, and listen to one when you get off the call tonight, just so you see what I'm talking about. And do it now through the end of the year, and tell me that you don't start thinking differently. You're going to post differently on Facebook. You're going to interact with people differently. It's going to make a difference. Number 2, they say it takes 21 days to form a habit, right? That's why we have 21-day fix. That's why Ultimate Reset is 21 days. 21 days to form a habit. So repetition is crucial. Again, that's why I kind of got over myself when I talked about, or, you know, I mentioned feeling like I'm saying the same thing on the calls a lot. Repetition is crucial. You know, have you ever noticed that you go to a conference or you listen to a call and you watch a video and you're so pumped and excited, but within the next day or two or maybe a week, it's barely even a memory. You have to keep reading. You have to keep plugging into the calls. You have to keep pushing play and drinking Shakeology and getting on these team calls. Some of you that know me and have been in the business with me for a while know that I was never really consistent with my team calls. And I might have been maybe 2 years ago when I first started doing it, but over the last 2 years, I really haven't been consistent. And it's been excuses like, you know, I'm tired, or, you know, not enough people show up, or, you know, maybe even if there's just one person on your call, or one person who Success Club points, or only helping one person, or only getting 2 Success Club points. You can't look at it that way, because that is one person. That is a life that you have the potential to greatly influence and change. And that's one person that cared enough to get on that call, or to show up in your challenge group, or to be your customer. So don't ever look at that number. It's something I've had to and still have to learn and remind myself. When I first started coaching, Summer would hold her team calls, and a lot of times, especially in the beginning, it was me and her mother-in-law on the call. And but she kept doing it, and I even thought, why does she keep doing this? You know, it's just me and her mom. Why does she keep doing it? But she kept doing it. And now she is a 15-star coach with $1 million in earnings since she started coaching. And she's doing amazing. She has a great team that follows her, a great tribe, very committed group of coaches. And, you know, that's just really the power of consistency and doing the things that suck all the time. Number 3, make the decision to be successful. This was something I pulled from, and I asked you guys, it went up a little bit late, but I wanted you guys to go back and listen to that National Wake Up Call from a few weeks ago with Becky Brosette, and it's actually posted in it's in the Rock, and it's also on the event page for this call. So if you didn't get a chance to listen to it, please go back and listen to it. It was one of the things that kind of inspired this whole message. But you have to make the decision to be successful. You will lose your way at times. You know, what did Becky Brosette say when she fell in her business, when she hit a slump, you know, a year or so ago? She said she made herself accountable to her personal development. Anytime you listen to these calls, you're going to hear coaches talk about the power of personal development and what it's done for them in their business. It was certainly a turning point for me, something I never plugged into in my life until I started as a coach. Number 4, stay connected to your why. You know, this is probably one of the biggest reasons why we can't personally, or why people on our team tend to fall off. It's because they don't have anything emotional that is tying them to what we do as coaches. So you need to find what that is and stay connected to it. I posted a video earlier today, a 90-second video from Erin, who shared her why with me. And I love that she did it on video. I asked her to, but most people don't do it when I ask them to. But it's good. It's good for you to verbally say it. It's good for you to get it on camera, even if you don't share it with anybody else. But it makes you think about it in a different way. And so I encourage you to do that. Sit down and think about it and get it on video and share it with somebody. Share it with me. Share it with your upline diamond coach. Number 5, be here in a year. And I'm going to just use the words. Jackie Conley shared this with me, but I was getting some advice from some more seasoned coaches about, you know, some tips for kind of keeping it moving along and getting through the tough parts, leading from the trenches. And so what Jackie says was, when a business owner has life struggles, they don't just shut the doors and come back a couple of months later when they feel like it, or when they're feeling better. No business would ever survive if that were the case, right? And this is really no different. You have to continue to show up and be here from a year from now. If you're doing these little things, if you're plugging into the calls and doing the things that we ask you to, and you're here next year, you're going to see progress in your business. It may not be exploding like you had hoped, but there will be progress. Number 6, focus outward. Remember, we are here. Our ultimate purpose is to add value to others, no matter how big or small that may be. I have a group that I'm running right now. It's called No Dollar Left Behind, and it was really inspired by all of this, listening to Dave Ramsey, I'm sure. But if there's one thing I have always been good at, and you know, always enjoyed, I'm kind of like obsessed with my budget, and I have been since, I can remember when I was 14 years old and had a job babysitting. I would write down every little dollar I made, and I'd write down what I spent on it. And so it's definitely a gift that I've been blessed with. And so through all of this stuff, listening to Dave Ramsey so much, I started this group to help people get on a budget and ultimately get out of debt. And so again, you know, this is something, there is no intention of anything but truly giving back to others, giving others something that I'm good at that's adding value. And, you know, there is just something about being willing to offer yourself to others in a way that always comes back to you. So adding value. Number 7, I got this one from a fellow coach on our team, Aaron Holiday, says that give yourself grace. This was a great tip, and something I need to do far more of, and you guys need to do far more of. So give yourself grace so that those who are on your team can also give themselves grace. And as a leader, we have to show and talk about our weaknesses and the things that we struggle with, and kind of step out of our comfort zone. Because I think a lot of times, and I'm seeing this transition, within Beachbody, honestly, where a lot of the leaders are sharing far more of their failures. And it's relieving, honestly, for me, because you see these people who hit Success Club, or they hit 15-star Diamond Coach, and they're making all this income, and you think, gosh, it's so easy for them, you know. And then you hear their story, and you hear what they do on a day-to-day basis. You hear the struggles and the crap they've gone through to get where they are, and you realize, oh, you know, they really haven't gone through any less than I have. They just keep going. Number 8, control the controllable. And the one thing that is absolutely up to you, the only thing that you can control in this business is you, right? So don't stress out about things that you can't control. Take control over you. Make sure you're doing the right things in your business. Number 9, this is the last one. Track your, I should have come up with number 10. Maybe say Amy can jump on and give me a 10 if I miss something. But number 9, track your business. And if you're like me, you don't like to track your business. I don't like the business activity tracker. And generally, if you don't like to measure and track your business, it's because you really don't want to face, you don't want to see what you're not doing. It's just kind of the truth of what we do. But some of you are really awesome at it, and you're probably making some strides forward in your business because of it. So that is all I have for you guys tonight. I would love to open the lines. If anybody has any specific questions that you want to ask or talk about, I'd be happy to answer any questions. If anybody has anything, Amy, do you want to share anything about, no. Megan, I know better than to ask you. Megan, oh, I see your smile. No, you can't offer anything.
I can always talk if you want me to fill in the awkward silence. I've been here with Rebekah, this whole time. I just started a couple months after her. And you are, and I shared this last night, you are going to have that roller coaster, the ups and the downs and the good months and the not so good months. So I posted the recording in the Rock. My computer's about to die too. So if you get a chance, listen to that, because we talked about, how to push through, and the holidays are important times, when we do, and I shared, we do want to take time off, but we still need to value our business. So make sure, you're doing that as well. But yeah, you're going to have the good times, you're going to have the bad times, but keep pushing through, still here 4 years later. It hasn't been easy, but I can look back and say that it's been worth it, to see my team grow and to see my income grow and to see the number of people that their lives have been changed. So you've definitely, has there been at least one time in this business when you were like, okay, I don't know if this is for me. Should I still be doing this? Maybe at the very beginning, but
nothing that tragic where, you don't
know. I've never threatened to quit. Maybe I've said, oh my gosh, Rebekah, I'm so over this, but I've never said, I'm just going to quit. I'm all done. And I've had people say that, like, I just don't know if this is for me. I don't know. And quit saying that. It's kind of like your marriage. If you're going to give up on your marriage isn't going to work. If you go in with the intention that you're going to have an escape route, then you're not going to make it work. But if you make it that it's not an option, that you want this to work, you can make anything work.
Absolutely.
And if you threaten to quit, then your coaches are probably going to do the same thing. I'm just saying.
Yeah, sometimes it happens that way, unfortunately, but
they pick up on the vibes. But yeah, great call. Thanks.
All right, ladies. Well, I will post the recording in the group. I appreciate you being here and the support. I love seeing all your lovely faces. If you have anything to add or you want to share a why video in the Rock, if you have one, that would be great. Just kind of inspire people. Some of you have already made some, but if you just want to post that in there and kind of maybe inspire people to post one of their own, that would be great. All right, ladies, have a good evening. Talk to you soon.